All right, everyone, buckle up because we are diving deep into the wild, wild world of modern love. Finding love in the age of apps. Yeah, we're talking swiping left, swiping right, all that jazz. We've got a mountain of books, articles, even some expert advice to dig through. Should be interesting, right?
Definitely. It's fascinating stuff, really. And it's really wild.
What's that?
That Aziz Ansari actually co-wrote a whole book on dating apps. Can you believe it?
No way. What's the book called?
Modern Romance. He teamed up with a sociologist to really dissect the whole online dating scene.
Wow. I guess everyone's got a side hustle these days.
Yeah.
But seriously, it does make you realize how much dating has changed.
Absolutely. It's not just a fad anymore. It's like the new normal.
Right. Like Swipe Right pointed out, online dating went from this taboo thing to like a cultural expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy how fast that happened.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, though, how has this whole digital dating thing changed how we think about love and relationships? For better or worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, is it making it easier to find the one, or is it just leading to a lot of, like, superficial connections?
Exactly. And that's something Love in the Time of Tinder really digs into. The author talks about how this fear of missing out, that whole FOMO thing, can actually keep people stuck in this endless loop of swiping and swiping without ever really connecting.
Oh, totally. Like, you're always wondering if there's someone better just to swipe away.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got Attached, which delves into the psychology behind all of this, talking about attachment theory and how it plays out in our relationships, especially in the online dating world.
Okay, so for those of us who haven't read the book, break it down for us. What's attachment theory all about?
Well, basically, it suggests that we all have these ingrained attachment styles, secure, anxious, or avoidant, that shape how we interact with romantic partners. Like, someone with a secure attachment style tends to be comfortable with intimacy and doesn't freak out if their partner needs a little space.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But then you've got anxious attachment, where someone might be like overly worried about their partner losing interest, always needing reassurance.
And avoidant attachment is like the opposite.
Yeah, you got it. Someone with an avoidant attachment style might be uncomfortable with too much closeness and might pull away when things start to feel too intense.
Interesting. So are we like stuck with one attachment style our whole lives, or can it change?
Well, it's pretty complex, but the book suggests that while our attachment style is somewhat ingrained, it can definitely evolve over time with self-awareness and effort.
Okay, that's good to know.
Hmm.
So how does all this attachment theory stuff actually play out in the real world, or I guess the online dating world?
Well, imagine this. You're chatting with someone on an app, things seem to be going great, and then suddenly they ghost you.
Ugh, the dreaded ghosting. We've all been there.
Right. So while ghosting is never cool, understanding attachment styles can sometimes offer a bit of insight. Like, maybe that person has an avoidant attachment style and got spooked when things started to feel a bit too real. Or maybe they're just a jerk. Who knows?
It's true. There are always two sides to every story. Okay, so we've talked about the challenges of modern dating, but let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. We've got all these amazing resources like Psychology Today, the Gottman Institute, even the Love Lab by Dr. John Gottman. So what are some expert tips for actually thriving in this digital dating landscape?
Well, first and foremost, the Gottman Institute really emphasizes the importance of quality time. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life,
That's
right?
totally. Work, errands, social media, it never ends.
Right. So carving out dedicated time for each other, whether it's a video call, a real-life date, even just putting your phones down and actually talking to each other, those moments of connection are crucial.
Absolutely. And speaking of talking, Psychology Today has a ton of great articles about the importance of communication in relationships, which seems especially important when you're doing a lot of your interacting through screens.
Yeah. Being upfront about your needs, what you're looking for, all of that. No more playing games, right?
Right. And really listen to each other, not just waiting for your turn to talk. That's something that all the experts seem to agree on. Like, really show that you're present and engaged in what the other person is saying.
Absolutely. Oh, and speaking of communication, the Love Lab reminds us that mastering the art of conflict resolution is key.
Oh, conflict resolution. Sounds intense.
It doesn't have to be. The disagreements are bound to happen in any relationship.
Yeah, for sure. No two people are exactly the same.
Right. So it's not about avoiding conflict altogether. It's about learning how to navigate those bumps in the road together in a healthy way.
Okay, that makes sense. So what are some other key takeaways from our pile of research here?
Let's see. The 5 love languages is always a good one. Figuring out how you and your partner give and receive love, words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, physical touch, that can be game-changing.
Oh, for sure. And it ties back into that whole communication thing, too.
Right.
Like being able to articulate what makes you feel loved and appreciated.
Exactly. And remember to have fun. Don't take dating so seriously all the time.
Yes. Life's too short to be swiping through profiles with a frown on your face.
Exactly.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about the evolution of dating, the psychology at play, and even got some hands-on advice.
It's amazing how much there is to learn about love and relationships, even in the digital age.
Totally. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of modern love, what's one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
You know, all these books, all these experts, they all point to one crucial thing. Technology might have changed the playing field, but at the end of the day, the fundamentals of human connection remain the same.
It's still all about authenticity, empathy, and that genuine spark.
Right? Exactly. So yeah, swipe away, but never forget what truly matters, finding someone who makes you feel seen, heard, and understood. That's what it's all about, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And on that note, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. See you next time.